Has anyone noticed that since Daisy's been in charge, she's been a bit of a hard ass? Maybe someone should realize she's been a hard ass for a while now. And maybe someone should give Deke some better lines. It got better.
Welcome to the heart of the stories we tell. My name is Rob, and tonight I will be reviewing
Inside Voices, Episode 16 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Season 5. And, this episode was another one of those ones that was up there. It had a few down moments that I'll pick on in a minute, but for the most part, it's a pretty strong season goer. But for those of you that don't know, what I do here is I review shows. I do TV shows, movies, books, comic books, you name it, any sort of story. I do Throwback Thursdays on Thursdays, and I do theory videos every Sunday. If that sounds interesting, click subscribe, because we are going to talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But last week, something interesting, well, kind of annoying happened, and I only briefly touched on it, but in the comments, Black Hammer said he couldn't believe that Hale couldn't believe in time travel. Right, because, she has a device that can magically transport her from where she is to somewhere else in the galaxy, talk to an alien, and then teleport her back. But time travel? That's a Rosen-Einstein bridge too far now, isn't it? Because, if it's traveling through time, it's traveling through space, because that's the way that works. And vice versa. But maybe Miss wants to be an astronaut, doesn't know Einstein.
So once again, it's stop. Spoiler time.
But okay, the episode starts off with everyone ragging on Daisy for being a little too hard-ass. And remember, I made the comment that when you start referring to a little kid as a weapon, maybe you've gone a bridge too far. So, that's going on. Robin's not talking, Coulson's still in prison, and so is Fitz, just by opposite sides. Hale's still, completely nutbar, and she's given Creole the gravitonium to work with, to see what he can do with it. Since his base power set is the ability to duplicate anything, if he touches the gravitonium, theoretically, he should be Graviton. He should have the full power set, right? One slight problem. Still occupado. That's right. Remember way back in, pretty sure it was season 1, when the doc fell in and I said way back then that Gravitonium was going to turn him into a Graviton, that was his origin. Well, he's still in there. Now that comes to Creole as it's alive, which I guess makes sense if you think about it. And then Coulson pulls his whole let me talk you into double-crossing the people that you like routine, and reminds Creole that, hey, weren't you friends with Talbot? He's here. They broke him. That scene kinda is the episode namer, because Coulson tells Talbot to use his inside voice. He goes, this is my inside voice. Well, use your softer inside voice. But in reality, it's kind of a multi-layered thing. See, the inside voice is also inside of Hydra. There's discontent. And there's also inside Creole is a voice telling him what's going on in the gravitonium. And inside Robin is a little voice that's telling her what happens in the future. And inside Daisy is doubt. And inside Gemma is a socio-psychopath who is, just crazy. But okay, we'll get to that one in a minute when we talk about the big reveal about the water glass. But the B story with Robin and Daisy has, first of all, a reappearance of another house that we've seen before, the house that Banner built. And that's where they've been hiding out Robin and her mom. But Robin has seen her own death, and that would be hard on anyone, but on a kid who's already living out of sequence. I don't even want to think about what would be going through your head. But when she sees May, she calls May Mom, because remember, in her mind, what's past isn't the only prologue. Everything is happening out of sequence. That's the woman who helped raise her. That's the woman who took care of her when her mother died. Even if that's still yet to be. Once again, we get the ridiculous joke where Deke thinks that someone's talking about him. I guess that's going to be his going joke. Meanwhile, Coulson and their escape runs flat into Ruby. And Ruby isn't willing to take prisoners. Even Creole, who she's told take alive. She totally isn't planning on taking alive. But Creole has voices in his head. the gravitonium-based voices, and the only thing they agree on is not to save Coulson. And Coulson dies again, but this time it's a temporary case of death. Well, I guess there are always temporary cases of death in his case. I do like Creole using the Absorbing Man powers to shock his heart. That's a pretty cool idea. And I have to say, the idea of having Absorbing Man turn into the hero here was a pretty inspired one. I like the entire feel of that entire arc. In fact, I have to say that's probably one of my favorite parts of the show tonight. The entire Ruby hunting and them evading, with everything that goes in between. Meanwhile, we are back also with Daisy the hard ass, and we have the subplot that involves Fitz and Simmons and Yo-Yo going to get the gravity weapon. And the first thing I thought when they pulled out the water glass trick was, ha ha ha, the trick is they're all water. But nope, Gemma pours the acid out. And I cannot stress enough how much this is bad time travel theory. Bad, bad, bad. Seriously, you guys are scientists. And Mac totally knocks the nail right on the head. What if the reason you survive is because you don't do something stupid? Because I do protect you. And there's actually a book series called Necroscope. I've reviewed it and talked about it a couple of times. But in that, there's a character who has a power, a psychic power called Guardian Angel. And it allows him to survive just about anything as long as the power's on. But the explanation given is pretty perfect. I can survive anything. I won't accidentally fall off a chair. My guardian angel won't let me. But maybe the fact that I'm too scared to get on a chair is my guardian angel protecting me so I can't fall off. But while the Simmons and Fitz crew are still doing weird, thinking they're immortal stuff, Daisy's brought Robin back and may have found Coulson. Well, until he teleported away. But at the same time, you have that whole heart-wrenching moment when Robin looks over and says, "Mommy, will you come sit with me?" And you just know she meant May, not her actual mom. And her mom being like, "Well, look, if something goes wrong, if anything goes wrong," May's like, "Nothing will. We're going to protect you." But that definitely falls under the category of a promise you can't possibly keep. Alright, meanwhile, Ruby. Rubyverse Absorbing Man was pretty awesome. Although I do really, really get annoyed at the fact that Creole isn't just fully transforming, and part of that is budget, I understand. But I'm just saying, like, if he had just become Steel, nothing she did could have hurt him. He could have just stood there as she flipped around. Although speed versus strength is a cool fight, something you're used to seeing with someone like Spider-Man, and I do like Ruby's fighting style, so still a win-win. I did also like the fact that when Hale came in, she's all like, "Who do you think you are?" "Well, I'm the destroyer of worlds." Good girl, then go get him. But then we get that flashback to 4 years ago and an answer as to what happened to that rich dude that stopped appearing after season 1. Whew. And a reappearance of yet another familiar face. And with this particular guest appearance, why don't we come full circle back to where we were right before the spoiler warning, with the fact that Hale, who believed in teleportation, couldn't believe in time travel. Do you remember in season 1 when we kept being told there are no psychics on the registry? Psychic phenomenon isn't real? Well, that kind of made sense a little bit, except for the fact that, it's based in Marvel Comics and you can't throw a rock without hitting a psychic mutant in Marvel Comics. But they didn't have access to mutants back then. But realistically, once you believe in gods, psychic isn't really that much weirder, right? Well, either way, I liked tonight's episode. I'm curious what you thought. There were a few things. I still think their time travel theory is a little off. I still think that their concept of immortality is a little misplaced. But overall, this was a fun episode. And one that we got to see a lot of things. And next week, we're going to have a cat fight. Quake vs. Ruby. Place your bets now. But also, if you could do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button, and of course share this video with your friends and family, and if you haven't already, click subscribe, because I'm building a community, and we're well on our way to getting somewhere with that. So let me know, talk to me, and while you're at it, just join. Let's see what it is you think of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and what you think about my reviews, and most importantly, what do you think the heart of the matter is? The heart of this story? Where do we go from here? For now, I hope you have a good night, and thanks for watching.